Hello guys, today we will be talking about Kugelhandgranate Model 1913. This is German World War I design, this is defensive type of hand grenade, and what is interesting is the first standard grenade of Imperial German Army. The body is made out of cast iron, the walls are 8 mm thick and the body is pre-fragmented, producing in ideal case 70 to 80 fragments shrapnels. The total weight of the grenade is 1 kilogram, the diameter of the body of the grenade is 80 millimeters, and combination of those two factors, the very wide round body and the weight, make it feasible to throw it at like 12-15 meters maximum, so that's also why defensive. The explosive filling is 45 grams of black powder, 70% of it, then barium nitrate and potassium perchlorate. This mixture does not require a detonator in our modern sense, so even with the use of basic safety fuse it would ignite. But the fuse used is friction igniter with brass body, and just by pulling the wire from top of the grenade you would basically ignite it, the time delay that was said to be around 5 seconds, and throw it that way. And this is the fuse that is used in the Kugelgranate. What it is, it's a friction-based fuse, so it's filled with black powder, and what you were supposed to do was just pull this out, like so, and that would start the burning. Also, this little hole, it's like a little exhaust, it basically allowing more oxygen to get into the fuse that way. Since the friction igniter was basic wire with little loop, with muddy hands in wet conditions, cold conditions, it was difficult to pull it out. So there was also leather strap attached with little hook. So you can, for example, hook the other end, for example, on your belt, and just by pulling on the grenade you could ignite it that way. Another problem that the shape of the grenade brought was how to actually carry it, because this is not your stick grenade, not some compact grenade, but it's a huge 1 kilogram thing. So they also created once upon a time a little cage for it. So basically the entire grenade was in a little cage that was hooked on your belt, and just by pulling it out from the cage you would just move your hand. The hook would pull the igniter out, the grenade ignited, and then throw it. In the following test we replaced the original charge with 30 grams of TNT and modern hand grenade fuse. And now we will do this humongous Kugelhand grenade. The following variant of the Model 1913, it's Model 1915, also created by Germans. And what that one did was just a simplification in the manufacturing process of the body, so fewer steps were required to creating the bodies. And you can very easily visually differentiate between those two variants. But then we have a little bit less known variant, and that's 1916 Russian Kugel. So in the start of the World War I, the Russian forces actually took some storages with the German grenades, and they were kind of impressed, right? They considered it a good pattern because it was a good pattern, and they decided to create their own Russian Kugel. You can tell that version by noticeable line in the middle of the body that was created by the manufacturing process, and also some of the pre-fragmented sections are a bit more pointy. Why this fact is kind of interesting? Because this one was accepted into the armament of the Russian Imperia as German pattern 1916, but they also kind of like the French pattern of hand grenades, so they also accepted French pattern F1 grenade, and this is the very well-known grenade that we all use pretty much to this day. In the following demonstration, we replaced the original charge with smokeless powder taken out of a damaged RPG-7 booster motor. So here I decided to give Kugelhand grenade one more try. So let's see what happens. So it seems that this time around we were a little bit more successful. But still, when we check our targets, we see impacts only very seldomly. So here we actually succeeded to record some shrapnels. So on distance of 1.5 meters we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, and here's some more. So actually it is as expected. Given the pre-fragmented body, we see big shrapnels, big chunks, but not that many, even on the very short distance of 1.5 meters. How did it happen that Germans already entered World War I with standardized grenade? Well, the main reason is the Russo-Japanese War in 1904. In the analysis that all the powers of that time did after this war was the reintroduction of standardized hand grenades, because those proved to be very effective in defense. Together with Germany, also France came up with pretty much the same conclusion. The Kugelhandgranate was originally intended for sappers, but with start of World War I, its use spread throughout the infantry and all the units on the front, and it was the sappers that did the original training in all of those infantry units, showing the rest of the armed forces how to use it safely and properly. Another notable development, aside from the 1915 simplified variant, it's also the appearance of the percussion stick grenade based on the Kugelhandgranate. So just basic wooden handle was added with a lever, and with that you could actually throw it quite a bit further. Given its shape and weight, the Kugelhandgranate was also used in catapults, improvised one or standardized one. The standardized one could actually reach the grenade on a distance of 300 meters, which is quite notable. Overall, this hand grenade, it's a cool piece of history, and I like especially its outer appearance because it's quite cartoonish. If you tell some artist or some civilian, draw me a grenade, I think the Kugelhandgranate outer look is exactly what he would come up with. Thank you very much guys for watching. If you wish to support us, you can use the links down below or become YouTube member for extra videos.